This is the other Anchar. This is a yellow dial, black silicone strap with a black leather strap.
Right.
$421.49. 6 value pays of $70.25. Also comes with the shockproof, shatterproof, and also the waterproof box on this one. Okay.
And this one actually has the 8215 as well. And since we were talking about the Anchar earlier, we didn't actually talk about that much about the inspiration. I'll take this minute to talk about the inspiration on this one. Every Vostok-Europe has a story. They're all named after some achievement from Russia or the former Soviet Union, either mechanical or technological or some type of achievement. In this case, the Anchar submarine, which is fittingly named for the first 300-meter diver that Vostok-Europe did, which was the Anchar. Anchar was and is the fastest submarine ever built, and was actually the first submarine with an all-titanium hull. And that was the inspiration, the K-162 inspiration for this watch. And the way that Vostok-Europe works, and it's one of the things that I find exciting about their approach to watchmaking, is that they don't build a watch and then say, okay, well, what name are we going to put on this? They start with the inspiration first, and then they build the watch around the inspiration. And everything you're seeing on this watch, now, and keep in mind, we're talking about a watch that's just over $400. Every component on this watch is 100% custom made. There is nothing on this watch that's what I would call off the shelf. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, there are watches built all over the place, and people buy them all the time and sell them all the time, where they'll go to manufacturers of dials, hands, cases, and whatever, and they'll say, give me 1,000 of that case and 1,000 of that dial and 1,000 of those hands, and they put it together and they build a watch. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine, but they're not starting from a blank sheet of paper and building. That one's
that gone too.
No shock there.
All right.
They're not starting with a blank piece of paper and saying, we're going to build this watch 100% custom. It's kind of the difference between buying a suit off the rack or having Savile Row custom tailor one for you. When you consider that, and you consider that this is a boutique watch brand, this is a very small company. 12 people work for Vostok-Europe in Vilnius, Lithuania. This is a boutique company. They do not build thousands upon thousands upon thousands of watches. They build in batches of 500, 2,000, 3,000 watches. To do that and still have every component of the watch be 100% custom made and stay at these price points is really pretty amazing.
This is the NH25 on this one, correct?
No, this is the 8215. I don't know where
I'm getting that, but okay.
I'm sorry. It may be my fault. I mean, you know, I could have miscommunicated about this, but no, this is the 8215.
So I've got to change that again on this card too. So it is the 8215.
The 8215 from Miyota in this watch.
These are limited to 3,000 pieces, 48 millimeter, and again, all of these read a little bit larger than your 48 millimeter because the size of the bezel.
Well, and especially on this one, where the yellow goes all the way to the edge of the dial and out to the bezel, it really makes the watch wear really big. And this is one of those where I would say, you know, if you're looking for subtle, this ain't it.
No.
This is a watch that's going to scream off your wrist. You are going to get noticed. This is not for everybody. This is not for the faint of heart who like, you know, more classic look. This is for the guy who wants the watch that everybody in the room is going to notice. This also has, as we were talking about earlier, the Tritium Tube technology.
Yeah.
And I'll bring out my box of goodies here. One of the things about the Anchar, Vostok, the original Vostok company that builds the watches, that still builds watches and builds a lot of the movements for Vostok-Europe, they created this design many decades ago where they have this, if you can get in on this, I'll show them, where they have this two-piece case back system, and it allows for greater water resistance and a tighter seal on the watch. If you look, there's this piece, and that drops in here, and there's these little pinions, slots, whatever you want to call it, that hold this in place, and I'm going to do a terrible job of doing this right here with this piece, and then there's this additional piece that comes on. So it's not one case back piece. Now, why do they do that? Because when you lock this piece in place and then you put this in and put it on, it creates a pushing torque in both directions that as you tighten it down, it seals that case tighter and tighter and tighter, which helps to achieve that 300-meter water resistance. And one of the things I always say about water resistance it's not just about whether you can use the watch for water sports. It's an indication of the caliber of construction, because you can't achieve that level of water resistance without having quality construction. I mean, just as an example, this is the movement holder, Skip, from this watch.
Yeah.
Even the movement holder
Gotcha.
in this watch is surgical grade stainless steel. Something nobody's ever going to see. All it does is hold the movement in place, but it is
They could have used something inferior.
Absolutely.
That's what you're saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
I share these things to show that Vostok-Europe really believes in having quality material from stem to stern on their watches.
We're going to sell this out again. We have 5 left, folks.